I want to dive right in. We've heard from some other people, so I want to hear from you all, and I'll start with you, Pierre. What was your reaction when you first saw this go viral, or if this is your first time hearing of it?
Kind of the first time I heard it. You know, I understand people's feeling both sides. You know, I think it's rather young for somebody to be kissing on each other in a family. You know, I was sneaking around kissing at 14, and I didn't have the privy of having, you know, celebrity family members, you know, parents, I mean, who would let me do that in front of everybody. So, you know, lucky for Zanaya, I guess, you know, that wasn't going to happen with me. So that's a little bit much, I think, to be kissing and doing all that extra. But just even kissing like that in front of parents at a young age of 14 years old. You know, I don't care if you're straight, transgender or not. It's just what it is. It's a little extra.
Absolutely. And I think her name, Zaya. I don't know if you said Zaya or not, but it's Zaya.
I probably did.
Okay. Flame, I want to bring you in on this, and I definitely appreciate you know, coming in and adding to this conversation. What was your thoughts and reactions when you first saw this?
Well, first of all, I want to applaud Dwyane Wade and Gabrielle Union for being a great support system for that transgender kid, because had more of us had that when we were kids, that we can come home to our safe space, that would have been great. That would have been great. But I agree with Pierre on that aspect. At 14, I was sneaking around and doing my thing. I wasn't doing it in front of my parents.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't have social media at that time, so nobody couldn't take a picture and publicly put it out there. So people are going to weigh in on that anyway. Parenting is different for everyone. If you are a parent, then you cannot, there are no boundaries. You don't know what you will do or what you will not do. You'll say what I won't do. But when it's your own kid, sometimes you're a lot more lenient than you should be. I applaud them for that. But then let me be clear, Symphony. This was a trans boy that he was kissing, right? So this person identified as a trans boy.
Yes.
Oh, so Zaya about to get some pussy. Oh, that's good for me. That works for me. Because that's all that is. Zaya is a trans woman, a trans girl. The trans guy. That's the penis going into vagina. Zaya about to get some pussy. He gonna get the best of. I'm sorry. She's going to get the best of both worlds.
Capone, let me bring you in this conversation. What was your reaction when you first saw this surface?
Of course, I got a little angry, not because of the situation, just the amount of the amount of space that you allow a child to be, you know, and I think, you know, growing up, and I understand the times change. I'm very understanding about that. But I think that there is a thing where, you know, you have to let a child be a child. And that's not something that's kid-like to actually be doing that in public and feeling that it's all right to be just cool with you know, 14 years old kissing, whether it's a girl and a guy. I don't think that was a good look from my point of view.
Well, Capone, let me ask you this. If you were in this situation where Zaya was your child, how would you respond to it or handle the matter?
As Flame said, I don't know. I'm not in that situation right now. Actually, I have a gay daughter, and she actually put me on to something that made me understand a little bit better. You know, she said, I've had boyfriends. I've had a problem with her having a white boyfriend. And she said,
Damn.
well, he treated me right. You know, I had a black boyfriend that didn't treat me right. And so the understanding, and then when she told me she had a girlfriend, I looked at it weird, of course, but I understood where she was coming from as she explained it to me. When you have no knowledge of these things, it's just kind of hard for you to pick up and just be understanding about something that you don't understand. And so will I still say this? If it was my son, I probably would be different than what I look at my daughter. But then again, that's not something that I've been faced yet. So that's how
that was very sexist, Capone. How you gonna give your daughter a pass but not your son?
She didn't have a pass
kid.
at first. She didn't have a pass at first until she actually explained it to me. Okay. When my son, if that happens and he explains how he's able to, you know.
Wow.
Yeah. Flame, I actually want to bring you in. Flame, I want to bring you in on that same question. What are your thoughts? You know, if seeing all this surface where it is in the public eye, how do you feel as a parent that you would respond to the matter or handle the matter?
Well, my daughter, I have an 18-year-old daughter, and she was going through her circle. She started off with a boy. Then one day she came home and said, Dad, I think I like a girl. I have a girlfriend. I didn't feed that because I believe if you don't feed it, it won't grow. I didn't address it. I didn't go. I was like, oh, okay, if that makes you happy. 3 days later, I ain't never heard nothing about no girls no more. She been boy crazy ever since. And the worst ones you can find on the damn planet. Good God. But if I had a gay kid or a transgender kid, I would think that I would be in a position, because I've lived as a transgender person for more than 30 years, that I would be able to teach them on things, on the positivity of it, and show them the right way to go. But now, if they start giving Zaya hormones at this age before she goes through puberty or what have you, I don't agree with that. Because, and here's the thing, why I said this before on the Breakfast Club. When you're too young, you can't take it back. So if she starts taking hormone blockers and she starts taking female hormones and estrogen, she's going to go breast. It's going to shrink her penis. It's going to lower her sperm count. And from what it looks like, Zaya's first sexual encounter will be with a biological female. That guy identifies as a trans guy, but he got a vagina. So Zaya might like both, because at least she's getting the chance to experience both. I just hope they don't give her any kind of medication until she passes 16, so she'll know exactly what she wants to do, because it is irreversible.
Absolutely, and I think a lot of people do agree with you, in the comments and all the comments that are surfacing. Pierre, I want to bring you in with the same question. If Zaya was your child, how would you respond or handle this matter?
Okay, first, Flame, if you say anything from this show on another show, then please say, I also said it on Comedy Hype News, just like you did the Breakfast Club. So as long as you do that, we all good here. Say, you give them a shout out. You make sure you give us a shout out if you repeat something. All right.
You didn't hire me. Okay, come on, keep
going. But to me, it doesn't matter about the sexuality of the child. I don't think a child 14 years old should be kissing another child. I don't care if it's transgender or straight. I don't give that leeway to any children of mine. We're speculating because but when my children were that age, they wouldn't be able to do that. So I can say from my experience, but I didn't have a transgender kid. But again, it doesn't matter if I have a transgender kid. At 14 years old, my child would not be kissing, because guess what? If you kiss in front of me, you're gonna put that thing in front, not in front of me, but behind me. So it's a progression. Within a year or two, they'll be laying down, and before I know it, I'll be a grandparent before I want to be a grandparent, and we ain't having that with the other person. So that's what I think.
Now, we haven't heard any responses directly from Dwyane Wade or Gabrielle Union. However, on Twitter, Dwyane Wade did repost an interview that both him and Gabrielle did a couple days ago. So I wanted to take a look at that, and then I want to come back and open the floor as well. So let's take a look at that clip.
Yeah, I mean, you never know why you're doing something. I never knew when I was watching Magic on Arsenio Hall talk about EJ many years ago. I didn't know that I was watching it, that many years later that I would have the same conversation with my child or with the world that he had at that moment. And so to see Magic on that stage, see him just proud and beaming with love for his child, at that moment I didn't understand, but all I seen was a father who loved. And so to me, I was like, well, this is what you do. You just love, and you figure out everything along the way, but you leave with love.
Now, Flame, I'm going to come back to you because, one, I want to get your reaction just to hear from them. But also I want to ask, do you think that Dwyane Wade may feel a little bit more pressure as a celebrity, to make these decisions because, what may come with not supporting his child or not supporting these particular decisions?
I don't know how Dwyane feels, because every parent feels differently about their child. So I don't know if his love for his kid is more of his love for his fame, but I do see that. I think that he is more concerned about the love of his kid than he is about his celebrity. So I appreciate that from Dwyane Wade. I do. I just really need them to remember who's the parent in the house, because these kids now, this Generation Z, they seem to run the house. So listen, I'm all applauding, all for get the positivity, learn from who you can, but you still have to be in control, because just like he said, it's still his kid. We can say well all we want to say, but that's still his kid. And just like EJ is Magic's kid. Now, EJ is way over the top for my taste, way over the top, but his daddy loves him. And that's what's important. The world is mean to gay people, to gay kids, and their other kids, you're sissy, you're this and that. So you need to be able to go someplace where you feel safe. So for Dwyane and Gabrielle to put their arms around this kid when she gets home from school or wherever she's been, if she had a rough day, that's the greatest place in the world to be. I think it's pretty dope that they have a support team around them, because Cookie, the strongest woman on the planet. She supported her husband, her gay son. Oh my God, I want me some Cookie DNA.
Capone, let me bring you in on this as well. What do you think? One, after seeing the clip, but then also, do you think that there's more pressure on Dwyane Wade because of his celebrity status?
Well, Flame brought up a great valuable point, but what I can't agree with, and it's only because I don't have the knowledge of it. As a Black man, there's been pressure on us, period, all the way around. You know, I'm quite sure that gay people have they thing of bashing, but the same thing goes with a Black man. And what Flame said, I'm just saying, Flame said, the point of running your house. There's no reason that this child should be exposed the way he's exposed. If that's his sexual preference, or, you know, you're allowing to take pictures with him kissing. No, even if you allow that to happen, that should be done in private. It shouldn't be this kind of conversation to where, like she said, well, who are we getting the fame from? Who's getting fame by this, by putting it out there? I don't, you know, he said Magic Johnson's son is over the top. She would know that because that is the world that they live in. As far as everybody else, oh, Magic's son got money and he's showing off his designer stuff. They don't even really look at him as this flaming guy anymore. He's like a fashion guru now. And so with that being said, I think the most valuable thing that was said through the question is, why are you allowing this to be so publicized? If this is private or whatever the situation, because Magic is not the father of your child. And that's just the bottom line. And Magic didn't put it out there like that. We didn't know his son was who he was until he got grown.
Pierre, let me bring you in as well, because I want to get your reaction. What's your reaction after seeing the clip? And do you think that there's just a little bit more pressure because of the celebrity status of Dwyane Wade and Gabrielle Union?
Well, I ditto what Flame said, and a lot of stuff that Capone said. I'm like, damn, going last ain't fun. Shit, I don't say everything already. But in the combination of it, I'll make it short and sweet. This kid is only 14 years old. I don't know why this child at 14 has to be, I don't know, the martyr for transgender or homosexual kid, whatever that thing is. It's a lot of pressure put on that kid. All that stuff being publicized, and that kid seeing that and reading stuff about himself, it's rough. And I don't know if I want to do it to my child at that age. Like I said, Magic Johnson waited till his son was 19 years old before whatever, the child came out grown. Then you can handle it a bit differently. But all this kind of stuff, making it public like this, showing pictures of this happening to the world to see and make comments, and some of them going to be, it's a cruel world. I wouldn't subject my child at 14 years old to this cruel world of what they did. Is it bad to keep it behind closed doors? Not you're hiding it because you're ashamed of it, but because all the negativity that come to my children or my child. I don't want that to my child. So I don't, to constantly put it out there. Yeah, it's great to have Magic Johnson to talk to. Fantastic. I'm glad Magic Johnson is a person there for them, because when you're in that situation, you need to reach out to people that experience some of the stuff that you're just now experiencing. So fine with Magic Johnson, but as far as putting it out to the public, them two, like Flame said, that kid damn near running the household, maybe, and that's I don't know. I grew up in a different time, I grew up in a different time. My parents were my parents, and it was different,
So let me ask you this then, Pierre, because I know you talked about, being in the public eye. Do you think there are certain boundaries that should be placed around young children when it comes to dating and their sexuality? And if so, what are some of those? Sure.
I mean, if you're going to go through that and your child wants to be a transgender or they're gay, that's fine. But if I'm a celebrity and I know it's riding on my celebrity, because if they weren't celebrity parents, was that Zaya? We wouldn't know about her. You know what I'm saying? We wouldn't know nothing about her. Let's be real. If it wasn't for the parents. So the parents are putting their fame heaped on top of that child. that's too much to me. That's just too much for me. I wouldn't want my kid to do that. And no, I wouldn't sashay my kid around the world in front of everybody, doing kissing and just doing the most to me. I wouldn't do it. So you have to catch us on the slide at the park somewhere or something, but it ain't gonna be on Instagram like that. It's too young. I think it's too young. And it might hurt that child in the future. Never know.
Julia Roberts and Brad Pitt has a transgender kid together. Wow. Nobody's making a big fuss about that. It's Black people. It's us. We make the big deal about things. It is us. It's I think Sandra Bullock has a transgender kid, I believe. It is so many celebrities with children who identify as transgender, but when they're white, it's not a big hoopla. When they're Black, we make a big deal about it. It is still, whatever that kid is or whatever that kid becomes, that kid still needs to be loved by their parents. So I'm glad that she has that at home. We didn't have social media at the time when I was a kid, so I don't know whether it would have been out there publicly. But at 14, and me being a parent of a 19-year-old, an 18-year-old, and a 15-year-old, at 14, they sneaking around kissing. They doing their thing. So I understand that, and they straight, but they still doing it. So there's no difference. I kind of agree with what Pierre and Capone said. I don't think I would want that out publicly, especially with my little bit of celebrity. I still don't want my kids out there kissing and with their boobs out and, pants sagging. That is not the children that I am raising. But again, it goes back to who's the parent in your house? Because I'm the parent in my house and I look like the girl, but when I get mad, my voice get deep. Them niggas know I'm daddy.
Oh,
sure. They already know how it goes. But I wouldn't put that out public because the backlash is going to be terrible. As celebrities, as comedians, we already see the inboxes that we get and we see the nasty mess, but we're grown. Imagine a 14-year-old kid hearing horrible things like that. The world is cruel. The best thing that they can do is just completely love that kid and keep that kid safe. But I'm with y'all on that. That public display, it might not turn out so good for them.
I think it was very profound what Flame said. The mere fact of, they saying that Black, but the media plays a big part of that. The media is actually the ones that's carrying this. Like she said, all these white people got all of this stuff and they're not interested in that. They're protecting that. And so, it's just, to me, it's really shameful that Dwyane, regardless of his celebrity, is not in a position man enough, because even watching the interview, I seen Gabrielle speaking more about the family and what about his mother? Why did he never interview his mother? Because she is not famous. How does his mother feel about this? Why does his mother not display, well, I don't like my son on this? Gabrielle, that's not his biological mother. So to me, she can have love for him, but there's not that understanding. And so I just strongly feel that Dwyane needs to man up and protect his son. It's not about what his son's sexuality is. It's about protecting that child's mindset, because before you know it, you let him get away with what he's doing now, he gonna walk around the house with another dude or another whatever, just butt naked, feeling like they in the house as much as they want to do it, because you're allowing things like this to happen. You have to protect that child. And I don't think that he's doing a good job with it by letting it be publicized.
Now, Flame, I saw you. I didn't know if you were about to say something, so I wanted to come back to you. Is there anything that you wanted to add to that?
I didn't want to say. Well, I don't know if I agree with with Capone on the man up part. The man up part is that he loves his kid openly, that he accepts his kid. That is the man part to me. But I hear what you said as far as protection, but that is the whole man to me, because there's so many Black men, my dad included, that did not want to be bothered with me because I identified as something different that he wanted me. We have our dreams for our children, what we want them to be, but they are only an extension of us. They still become what they want to become. We have no say-so over that. So in that aspect, I applaud him for being there and being that constant in his kid's life. But I hear you, Capone, on that protection thing, because I'm telling you, the internet is crazy. And with the Don't Say Gay bill and all the new stuff that they got coming out in Florida and in Texas, these young trans kids who have nobody to talk to, no counselors, no teachers, because you can't always talk to a family member. These kids going to start killing themselves in massive numbers because they don't have an outlet. That is what I'm saying about Dwyane and Gabby. They have given their child a safe place that he can come or she can come and speak with them about anything and everything. That is the good part, but I don't like the public display. So I'm with you on that, Capone. I don't want to fight you bigger than me. You might slap me.
Well, I definitely appreciate y'all for chiming in on this one. I know it's a sensitive topic, but I do think, having these type of conversations and getting certain insight is definitely helpful, for our...
Put it in the comments.
What's up, y'all? This your boy K-Rob, and for years, you come to us to get the latest news in comedy and for your favorite comedians. Now you come to us for even more news in the world of sports, music, and pop culture. We're bringing you some of our classic shows you love, like Unforgotten, the Comedy Hype News Show, and more of our one-on-one interviews. We're more than just laughs. We're the culture, the leaders in truth, and well, your streamer just got a little more blacker. Welcome to Hype Plus.